the main title, the main impression that everybody has of Hunter Biden is his drug use.
Yeah.
And in the case of Hunter, his drug use and his intensity of his getting high has absolutely actually helped and aided in different aspects of society.
Wait, Hunter taking drugs help society?
Right. And I don't want to sugarcoat any of this, but under a lot of investigation and collecting a lot of documents, where we see a relationship between Hunter Biden and several agencies of the U.S. government and their involvement in his use of drugs, specifically crack cocaine and meth. So his use had brought him to a level of such heightened proportion that goes beyond any kind of human contact, if that makes any sense.
Not yet.
His high, brought him to a level of consciousness where he had the ability to think outside, the human box. And this is where it comes into play. And this is where a lot of people will be like skeptics on this theory. But this is information that we have drawn from what's on his laptop and, documents we have found.
Yeah, so
we all know, and science has proven, that there's extraterrestrial out there.
True,
right?
Yeah.
There's segments of our universe that have populations of these beings, not of a physical world, but of an energized world. So through the investigation, and it took a tireless amount of, people on board with this that are experts in the field, we uncovered a sect of extraterrestrial beings, and they're referred to as the Glub-Tar Nebula. These extraterrestrials are out there in an energized type of demeanor, and what we draw from their purpose is to intervene with American society, right? So again, this all sounds very out of this world. But what has happened, and again, based on information that we have drawn from content on his laptop, the U.S. government works with him, and when he's at an intense high, to the point where he's got this communication with this Glub-Tar Nebula, and they're able to use him as a body host, and there's communication between those three bodies, the Nebula, Hunter Biden, and the U.S. government.
Whoa. So you're saying, correct me if I'm wrong, Hunter Biden's getting high, so high that he's communicating with energetical beings?
That's exactly
on the behalf of the U.S. government.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So you gave us an image from his laptop. You said this is what you found of, let's pull up the next. So this is Hunter.
Right.
What are we looking at here?
That's Hunter connected to a machine that was created by the federal government that allows him to maintain a euphoric, heightened high, this intense intoxication that allows him to be a communicator with this sect, this population. So
interesting.
The Glub-Tar Nebula is able to communicate with him, and he works with conjunction with the U.S. government on different tasks, and that has proven to be very useful to the world.
So this was an image you found on his laptop, and this is and there's more. You said you found classified documents.
Yeah, there's absolutely a tremendous amount of documents
on his laptop.
On his laptops, reiterating this and backing this theory up.
So instead of hanging out with a bunch of druggies, he's hanging out with extraterrestrials.
Well, that's one way to put it. What he's doing is that he's doing service for the United States government. You know what I mean? He's providing.
So he has to get high.
Right. We have to keep him high. We have to maintain that continuity between those three parts.
So you mentioned he works with the government and the Gleptar nebulons.
Right.
Dude, what kind of evidence have you found? Like, what missions is like? What does he do?
Well, that's the thing. I mean,
You have an image?
You're gonna be blown away with this. Yeah, I think this is an image
so
up
you have
there.
a classified document you found on his laptop, which could be a national security problem, but that's a whole other issue. But let's zoom in on this. So,
Well, there's certainly a limited amount that we're looking at because it's, like you said, it's classified, but it gives enough information to disclose what actually is happening here.
so yeah, it says
Right.
memorandum for the Deputy Secretary of Defense, subject Osama bin Laden. So what's this?
Right. This was absolutely one of the most amazing things that I saw, that the Gleptar Nebula was able or had the ability to give the coordinates where Osama bin Laden was hiding out during those years when the United States was after him.
Really?
Okay. To the point where they worked with the U.S. military, and Team Field 6 were able to go in there and finally get that dastardly terrorist that destroyed the United States. You know what I mean? Right. And this is the kind of stuff that gets me fueled. You know what I mean? Because people don't know this. And there's nobody will question, how did we find out? How come it took so long? Where are we getting this information from? And if we have a belief that these beings, these forces of energy are out there providing information for us, then this is the stuff that's in play, that we have to believe that works for us.
That's amazing. So the Gleptar, you could read the sentence here. It says, it's been brought to our attention that the Gleptar nebulons provided coordinates relating to the whereabouts of Osama bin Laden. There's the coordinates.
Right.
Wow, so this is crazy.
Isn't it? It's very good information. Again, and with the team of people that I was working on with this, it all just completely blew us away. I expected to find out when we did all this searching of Hunter Biden, my impression was that we were going to find this drug addict, spoiled brat that never grew up type of guy, and just sucks from society and sucks from his prominence. And that is certainly not the case on the things that I've discovered.
Let's all thank Hunter Biden for his service, for capturing
and so much more, Tony.
Wait, so are the Gleptar the extraterrestrials?
Are they?
Yeah. You're asking if that's a name of them? Yeah.
Yeah, that's the name of them. That's the.
Do we know what they look like?
No, they're not a physical being. They're an energy. They're they're a force.
A Gleptar energy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
It is amazing.
Get it now?
It's.
I was just hoping that they were better looking than Hunter.
They might be.
You're into
that
the
might be their goal,
nebulons?
you know what I mean?
But a Gleptar crush?
Dating out there is pretty rough, so
Yeah.
I'll take a Gleptar.
Well, you have Daniel knocking on your door. All right, well, let's pull up. There's another mission you said that Hunter worked on. Another classified document.
This is pretty amazing. And a lot of people were kind of shocked that this actually happened because there was a lot of dissension in our own government about this. But for some way, the Gleptar nebulons were able to create like an agreement with the United States and Israel, where we were at the point where we could contribute and help them out to the tune of $12 billion a year.
Wow.
In aid that they needed. $12 billion. We couldn't even do that in our own legislature. But somehow, the specifics are unclear. But the Gleptar nebulons were able to create a dialogue and enable this was to happen.
Yeah, and we all support and stand with Israel here. So that's pretty amazing that the Gleptars helped Hunter negotiate $12 billion annually.
$12 billion.
That's awesome.
Isn't that amazing?
Thank you. That's pretty great.
It seems like a pretty easy negotiation for Hunter. I don't know if he had to do too much to
No.
secure that. But it's a good start for a negotiation.
True.
I mean, he might have the negotiation, but he certainly didn't have the reputation.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because people looked at him as some loser drug addict that had no right to even be driving around in a car.
Yeah. Well, to Derek's point, I think but prior to that, it was like $11 billion annually, but I guess Hunter got them another billion to bring it to 12, which is pretty great. So what else has Hunter done for this country that we're unaware of?
Well, one of the things...
Pull up our next tab here.
Oh, okay. I forget that you had the tabs.
Has he been married?
A few times, yeah.
You're curious, huh?
Yeah, wow, you're really... I mean, choose your lane. You want Hunter or you want the Gleptar nebulons?
You can only pick one.
Or Daniel.
No, in this particular piece of information, this is where the Gleptar worked with Dr. Fauci Okay, we remember Fauci was he was the flagship for the vaccine and curing COVID. There was a dialogue created between Hunter, Fauci, and the Guptar, and they got to the point where they were able to provide the ingredients, the necessary technique in creating this vaccine.
Wow.
So here, and this is a perfect example of a contribution to society. So we look at those first images where he's driving in the car, taking selfies, and he doesn't have a mattress tag. And here's a guy that contributed to the curing of a world pandemic.
I mean,
you know what I mean? How is that guy not a hero?
No.
You know what I mean?
But he's also a martyr because, he needs to take these addicting drugs to do these great things. But then, and in his spare time, you expect him just to go back to normal? No, he's exposed to these horrible things. He's going to recreationally do these things, but he's a martyr. He's a hero.
Right, yeah, that's
Christ-like
a very good way to
figure.
describe. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's a very good way to describe it because he is putting his own life and probably those around that he loves in jeopardy for the benefit, the betterment of society.
Yep,
I mean, it's kind of a similar outfit to Jesus too. He wore just like a loincloth and
wow.
But Jesus was
But
hairier,
how does
I
somebody
think.
measure?
Yeah, Jesus was
Jesus hairier, right?
yeah.
How do you measure the connection?
Oh, the connection,
To the
okay.
Gluptar?
It's a whole physics, energy
what do you mean,
formulas
like
and
measure?
calculations.
Like, how
Don't
do
worry
you know
about it.
that he's high versus connecting to the Gluptar?
What if those two things are the same?
The only way I could answer that
Like, can
is
you look at the selfies he took and be like, oh, yeah, that one, he's definitely
Just
Talking
by
to
looking
that.
at a picture?
Right.
Well, we're looking at these documents, and they kind of, we're not reading them word for word, but they kind of describe the process. I mean, here we could say what the document says. It says, "Dear distinguished gentleman Fauci, it seems as if the pandemic will soon be behind us. Our connections with the Gluptar energies have gained us the ingredients necessary to construct a vaccine to fight this awful, wretched, really, really deadly virus, which we know COVID to be."
Although Giselle's making a good point, she wants the evidence for the connection between
Right,
the
like at what
communication with
point?
Gluptars and the drug.
Well, we saw that image of Hunter connected to the machine.
Okay, yeah, but I don't. I mean,
So wait, does Joe have the Gluptar connectivity gene?
I don't
No.
think he's getting high.
No,
I think just
he
Hunter.
doesn't. I mean, and again, this is.
it comes from his mother's side. Okay. What?
I think in this the answer to that question is found in the fact that these things have happened. Do you know what I mean? The interpretation, the dialect, the how the government or how these bodies are able to interpret the information. I think is foreign. And I believe it's all just done through a connectivity on a neurological level.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so let's pull up the next tab here. We got further evidence if Giselle doesn't quite believe it yet. That was COVID. So there's another mission here, Joe, I think, of another classified document that Hunter was part of.
And this is actually a piece of information that deals with new technology for the advancement of military drones and our capability for the U.S. government to take more control and have the ability to set these drones out there on missions. Through this coordination between the Gluptar, Nebulons, and Hunter Biden and the U.S. military, they were able to formulate the blueprints that specifically worked with the proper direction and usage of military drones.
Really?
We used their capability, and there was a mere 1,700 or more civilian deaths in Israel.
Oh, that's it? Yeah. No,
But the
it's-
bottom line was we were able to see the advancement of this technology and how it overall is a asset to American society.
Cool. So yeah, the Gluptars
Right.
gave us the
Right.
military drone
So
technology.
those are the kinds of things. I mean, and there's a myriad of other involvements that this tie between Biden, Hunter, the Gluptar, and the U.S. government can move society forward. And again, and I can't stress the fact that we're not talking about just here in the United States, or right here in New York or California. This is the world.
Yeah, he's helping
You
the
know what
Middle
I mean?
East with the
Right,
drone
absolutely.
strikes.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Rest assured that some terrorists were also killed. Okay.
Yeah,
That's
so
good.
on the document here, this was a classified document to the Department of Defense. It says, we're pleased to announce the results of our new military drone robotics. After careful cooperation between Hunter and the Gluptar overseers, our top engineers constructed new drone technology, which is what you said. The blueprints were provided by the Gluptars, and they were highly successful. And we're happy to inform you that nearly 1,700 civilians died, which was just for the greater good, and we support that. That's pretty great. And it says, rest assured that some terrorists were also killed. So, I mean, it sounds like it's working.
You know, it's a
collateral
It's a give and
damage.
take.
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
It's
yeah.
collateral damage.
Greater good.
You know what I mean? So,
And
then-
then justify the means.
Of course.
Consequentialism. It's all
Absolutely.
good.
And then there was one last, I think, document you had here from Hunter's laptop, of course.
this was something that went on between the Gluptar on a smaller scale. Okay. And this was actually a communication or a negotiation. And in reality, it was a reconciliation. That's the way I look at
Yeah,
it.
well, what
It
happened?
was a reconciliation with Bill Cosby and many of the women that had accused him of his sexual behavior.
Oh.
It was their way of communicating some type of peace treaty, you know, and
A peace
This was
treaty
a-
between who?
between these women and women as a whole that Bill Cosby had
Oh.
and took away. I don't want to take away or belittle the fact that he was sexually harassing these women,
yeah.
but minimize the damage.
Okay.
You
Wait,
know?
so the Gluptar are on the women's side or on the Bill Cosby side?
Well, yeah. if
They
you-
are
a
on.
neutral arbiter
Let's
of
make a
justice.
peaceful side.
Oh.
Let's come together and resolve this. And you know, he got a lesser sentence for that. Yeah, Bill actually got an early release
From
because
prison?
because he was able to change his ways.
Why do the Gluptar
you know?
care about Bill?
Well, like I said, this was something on a smaller scale. How that came into being or your fruition, I don't know. I know that there is a relationship that Hunter had with Bill Cosby. I could assume that, but I do know
A sexual one?
No,
Possibly.
no.
I mean, probably the
Not that-
reason they did it is I guess they probably understand like the importance of like laughter and comedy for the world. It's very healing, and they probably want one of the greatest comedians of all time
Oh,
back out.
but we're
to-
like missing out because
Yeah.
he's in jail?
of
Yeah,
course.
yeah.
You love Bill Cosby. Didn't you say you were really upset when you found out all these allegations?
Yeah, but that was then. This is now.
Yeah, but
Like you come, I was the same way. I came around to accept that this guy's a real bum. But the fact of the matter is, what I think the Gluptar does is they see wrong in society. You know what I mean? They see a wrong, or they see an aspect or a pathway for betterment to make something better, and that's where they go.
well, maybe
you
we
know?
get more clarification by reading
Right.
this too.
So
this
can the Gluptar help with abortion rights?
hopefully, yeah,
You know,
there
that's
a
why
list? Can
that's
I-
why it's so
yeah.
important.
Maybe they have a
That we
PO
maintain this
box.
continuity. That's why we need to, maintain this continuity with the Gluptar, with Hunter as the host. You know, and that's one of the reasons why I'm here too. You know,
Yeah. So let's let's read this quick. It's a document to the State Supreme Court of Pennsylvania. And it says, after extensive negotiations and counseling between the Gluptar Nebulons and Hunter Biden, the two parties have structured a peace treaty between Bill Cosby and womankind. Mr. Cosby now understands the error of his ways and has solemnly sworn to never sexually molest women ever again for a period of 3 years.
Fair.
So we look forward to Mr. Cosby's early release, and yeah, wow.
Right.
So
And,
he,
you know,
so he
we're
sees
good
the
for
error
3
of his
years.
ways.
Right.
He's
Right.
reformed because of the Gluptars, I guess. Right?
their contribution to society on a small scale is evident here, in my opinion.
Really,
Yeah,
really
it's
because
obvious.
of Hunter.
Yeah,
Right.
Hunter's.
One is the way that you look